Risk in firms is managed by people, and their behaviour can have a significant influence on the effectiveness of risk management. That's where risk culture comes in. Culture is the sum total of people's behaviours. It's the way we do things around here. Culture shapes everything: how seriously we take things, our decisions, the goals we set, the judgments we make, and how things are managed. Ignore its power, and there's one thing you can expect: the unexpected. Managing risk culture is complex, covering tangible and intangible items across many specialisms. The key to progress is working on things we know we can change. At EY, that's just what we do. Our risk culture model shows that outcomes are influenced by a combination of mechanisms and behaviours, each feeding on the other. For example, one type of mechanism, robust policies, influences the way people operate, but bad attitudes can undermine even the best policies. So, where should firms start? We believe a pragmatic approach to improvement is first to assess each mechanism in turn, then understand how, collectively, they influence behaviours so they can be calibrated properly. Our 8 mechanisms fall into 4 categories: leadership, organisation, the risk framework, and incentives. People look to their leaders and frequently follow their example. The tone that's set by top and middle management and the behavioural standards they adopt are critical. There need to be arrangements to govern risk, with well-defined roles and responsibilities. Clear structures underpin good risk behaviours because they allow people to be held accountable. Effective risk frameworks should help staff abide by the organisation's risk appetite and clarify actual risk levels. Finally, individuals should appreciate risks relating to their own work and feel rewarded for doing the right thing. Robust mechanisms help reinforce the behaviours firms rely on. We see those as being where people can lead and influence others in the right way, analyse and interpret information appropriately, feel responsible and accountable, be collaborative, operate ethically and in compliance with rules, communicate well, be adaptable, and act as advocates for good risk management, thus serving the best interests of customers and shareholders. The question then is, how well do the mechanisms influence behaviours? For example, a campaign of short, realistic YouTube-style videos dramatising the pressures individuals can be under from those around them could be used to underline how leadership prefers staff to behave. By examining the impact of these mechanisms, risk culture, which might at first seem like an abstract concept, can be turned into something more tangible and measurable. Depending on the client, we use various approaches, from one-to-one or focus group interviews to a thorough review of documents and processes. However good existing systems are, initial assessment gives us a baseline to work from. Even if the correlation between mechanisms and behaviours is fuzzy, improving mechanisms signals progress. Firms differ, so the balance between mechanisms will vary. However, commercial advantage can be gained by considering how behaviours might be seen by customers, regulators, and other external stakeholders. Breaking down risk culture into its components makes it possible to focus on and improve the mechanisms themselves, empowering clients to deliver the changes they need. Firms increasingly want to show that they're improving their risk culture. Our model helps them demonstrate the practical and pragmatic steps they're taking, which underpin the behaviours they want to encourage. Combined with an effective communication strategy about the change journey, improvements can happen. So, remember, behavioural outcomes arise from the interaction of behaviours and mechanisms, but it's the mechanisms which offer the most tangible opportunity to achieve and demonstrate progress. EY believes improving those is where firms should focus.